CLC family, welcome back to the Confirmation Introduction videos. I'm Pastor Matt, and here today with you with the 8th commandment. Now you just heard from Jim on the 7th commandment about stealing property, stealing things. This one follows on the tails of that. See, the 8th commandment is tied again into a little bit of stealing, but it would be more along the lines of stealing someone's reputation. So what is it, right? 8th commandment, you shall not give false testimony against your neighbor. There's a bunch of big words. Don't lie about your neighbor. Watch your tongue. A couple of different ways to say it, right? And so as we look at this 8th commandment, we need to look at the ways in which our tongue can hurt and harm our neighbor, but how God wants us to also use it to help and build up our neighbor. Okay, when I was a kid, I remember one of the favorite phrases was burn, right? When somebody would say something and it cut somebody else down. And so it would be this burn of words, a way to use your words to burn somebody. And they do. Downside is that burn hurts. At least it hurts the person that those words are landing against, right? See, in the Small Catechism, we're told we should fear and love God so that we do not hurt or harm our neighbor with our words by slandering, lying, gossiping, anything along those lines. But we should defend him, speak well of him, and say everything in the best possible way. So a burn isn't part of it. Because gossiping, too, that's kind of fun, right? When you get to tell stories about someone else behind their back, maybe. Still, it's not building them up. And you know how that feels. You know how that feels when you can just sense somebody over your back shoulder talking about you, when there's something going on that you know isn't right, or someone comes to you and says, I can't believe you did this, whatever it is, and it's not true. See, the 8th commandment is about true words and false words. This happens online too. Whatever venue you want, if it's text or social media of different sorts, whatever it is, we can hurt and harm with our words even when we're not present. And we see it happen. We see the fallen faces of people around us when words hurt them. So what do we do? What can we do? Well, God calls us to build each other up, to defend one another. If someone's physically harming someone else, and we're able, we should defend. If someone's hurting with words, we should step in and defend them. In 1 Thessalonians, we get these words, encourage each other, build each other up with your words. See, Satan is always accusing, always. Satan is accusing and pointing things out to you of how you are broken and how others are broken and how maybe they need to hear it. But he's going to continue to point you to words that are accusing and break down. Now, these words are likely true. They're harmful words. They're hurtful words. And even before God, Satan brings those things up. But you see, Jesus stands before God as well. And Jesus stands before God and says, yeah, those words are true, but God the Father, remember, my goodness is their goodness. My goodness won on the cross is their goodness. I'm going to speak well of them. I'm going to defend them against Satan, and I'm going to stand in their place, and you're going to see my good words. And so you are covered with the words of Christ, covered with his promises, covered with his gifts, as he speaks well of you before God. Be thankful for those words that Jesus speaks on our behalf, and let us then speak well of those who are around us. We'll talk with you real soon as you hear from Pastor Bob next on the 9th and 10th commandments.